चिन्तयामि हरिमेव सन्ततं मन्दमन्दहसिताननाम्बुजं नन्दगोपतनयं परात्परं नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितम्। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Last week we have entered the fourth chapter, Jnana Yoga, and we saw how Sri Krishna lets Arjuna know, and more than Arjuna, through him, he lets us know that this Adhyatma Vidya has been coming down for thousands of years. God, who created this universe from day one, also supplied the science, the Vidya, for managing our life in a proper way. Though in our eyes the creation looks very chaotic, the truth of the matter is, as saints and sages, mystics would tell us, everything is in order. They asked Sri Ramana Maharshi, what is the meaning of suffering? There is so much suffering in this world. And Maharshi said, if there were no suffering, why would anybody go for the quest of the self? The devotee in a particular talk in the immortal work, Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi, asks again, does it mean every suffering is good? And surprising the visitor, Maharshi Ramana says, quite so. Every suffering that you and I go through has a hidden purpose. It is all to make us move closer to the true purpose of human life. Maharshi clarifies that there is a narrow idea of happiness. People think to be physically healthy, to have meals on a timely basis, breakfast delivered at 8 a.m., lunch ready at 1 p.m., dinner laid on the table at 7 p.m., and in between also many things served on a platter. People think that is happiness. Maharshi, in a particular talk of that great work, clarifies that even emperors, for whom there are so many servants around all the time, supplying to them whatever they need, are not happy. If anybody imagines, if I had a big house and very good health and a list of things, I would have been free of all suffering. Who knows? When you have the bigger house and cars and this and that, your suffering may be more than before. People think those who are abroad are happy. The complications of living in the West are so unique. For example, the issue of loneliness is a big matter, big problem in the West, in the so-called developed countries. Anyway, the entire world has some form of suffering or the other, and Swami Chinmayanandaji used to say, this creation is not a chaos, it is a cosmos. In that light, let's pick up again today in this 77th class on Bhagavad Geetā, where in the third shloka, Sri Krishna reaffirms that it was he and he only who had taught this Adhyatma Vidya in the ancient past to Lord Sun Vivaswan Aditya Imam Vivaswate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam. That's how this chapter opened with a bang. Sri Krishna says now, In the third chapter, third shloka, Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam etaduttamam. Sweet poetry, wonderfully chosen words. Bhagavad Geetā at once is a treat to the mind of a poet and a treat to the philosopher in every one of us. Call it truth conveyed in an elegant manner, or call it beautiful literature carrying truth in it. It's two in one. Adi Shankara introduces this third shloka. Durbalan ajitendriyan prapya nashtam yogamima upalabhya lokancha apurushartha sambandhinam. What has happened over thousands of years is that this Adhyatma Vidya, called in a general way as yoga, reached the hands of people who were weak-minded, who were indecisive, who, above all, were not masters of their own senses. Ajita Indriya. Adhyatma Vidya shines in all its glory only when the practitioners have self-control. Those who do not have brahmacharya, ahimsa or satya will not be able to carry this Adhyatma Vidya in a proper way. They will only make some impression here and there, but inside them they are hollow. Adi Shankara is so incisive in his comment. Ajita indriyan durbalan prapya yoga nashtaha tam yogam upalabhya and lokancha apurushartha sambandhinam. In the process, loka, meaning vast numbers of people, are unable to understand what the goal of their life is. The tragedy of modern civilization is they have so much comfort, so much convenience, and they have so much sophistication in the way they live, but hardly anyone knows what the true purpose of life is. Purushartha. Purushartha are the four purposes. Beyond artha and kama, there are dharma and moksha. But vast majority of humanity doesn't think about dharma and moksha at all. And this artha and kama is a wild goose chase. It's endless. More you have, you want to have more, and so on. Therefore, this being the sad state of affairs, Sri Krishna had to give this wisdom again after thousands of years to Arjuna this morning on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Saeva, the same yoga, Saha stands for that yoga. Saeva yoga, Saeva Adhyatma Vidya, Saeva Brahma Vidya, Maya Prokta. Today, Adya means today. Therefore, I am restating it all. I am trying to revive the spiritual tradition. Puratanaha, this is ancient. In Bangalore, we have a beautiful ashram not far from the airport, School of Ancient Wisdom. What a nice name, the School of Ancient Wisdom. We of Hawaii Forum have held a couple of programs at that place. Very nice, 9-acre ashram with beautiful facilities for groups to go and have spiritual discussions. School of Ancient Wisdom. What is that ancient wisdom? Ask Sri Krishna. Puratanaha Yogaha. Purani Vidya. Saeva Vidya. Adya, today, Maya Prokta. To whom? To Kasmai Arjunaya. But why did Sri Krishna pick up Arjuna? Bhaktaha Asi. Love moves mountains. Arjuna loves Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna loves Arjuna. And love is indescribable, undefinable, it's beyond reason. Arjuna knows it in his heart and Sri Krishna knows it in his heart. Bhaktaha asi. And we have been traveling together, sakhacha, companion, friend. Therefore, this, which is a rahasya, a great secret, rahasya. Later on in 9th chapter, the very title of the chapter is going to be Rajaguhya. It's a royal secret. Secret that is above all other secrets. Rather than secret that belongs to kings, the meaning of Rajaguhya over there, as Adi Shankara would explain, is it is the king among secrets, not the secret of the kings, but among all secrets, if you are to pick one secret as the topmost one, the king among secrets, Guhyanam Raja, not Rajnam Guhyam. In the same way, not Rajnam Vidya, but Vidyanam Raja, a strange Karmadharaya Samasa, where normally in Karmadharaya Samasa, you have this latter word as the main word. Nilotpalam, blue lotus, is a Karmadharaya Samasa. So the latter word, Utpalam, lotus, is the main word. Then to describe it further, you say, well, I am talking about a blue lotus. It's a lotus primarily. What kind of lotus? Blue lotus. So blue is additional information. Neela Utpalam. The second word is the main word in Karmadharaya Samasas ordinarily. But in 9th chapter, the title has Raja Vidya and Raja Guhyam. There, Vidya and Guhya are not the main words. The first word, Raja. Raja, king. King of what? King of what sort of factors? Vidyanam Raja. Guhyanam Raja. Mukyataha Raja. And secondarily, you want details. When somebody says, the president is coming, don't you ask, a president of which country? The president of United States is visiting India in such and such month. So the president is the main word. That's how we call it. Uttara pada pradhana, purva pada pradhana, ubhaya pada pradhana, anya pada pradhana, and so on for various, not samosas. In Sanskrit we have samasa. Chakrapani is a samasa. Vishnu has a disc in his hand. All right. Rahasyam guhyam itam uttamam. Adi Shankara is delighted to throw some light on this. Saeva ayam me, saeva ayam maya, te tubhyam, synonyms. Adya means idanim, at this moment. Yogaha proktaha. Maya yogaha proktaha, aham yogam proktavan. These are passive and active voices. Puratanaha yogaha, ancient wisdom. Why? Bhaktaha asi. You are my bhakta, devotee. Sakhacha asi. Shankara thinks these are so well-known words, there is no need to provide a synonym. Goes ahead. Rahasyam hi yasmat. He means yasmat because it's secret. And top secrets are not said to Tom, Dick or Harry. Top secrets are not divulged to anybody on the street. If you have a top secret with you, you tell that to most trustworthy, lovable, good friends of yours. Many a times you and I, in a moment of carelessness, begin to let out a secret. Then we see, hey, is it right for me to tell this lady, to tell this man, the secret which someone in all confidence gave to me? And when you realize it's not appropriate, halfway you change the sentence. You are about to say, I had gone to Delhi and you know what happened. You even completed the sentence, I had gone to Delhi. Now the secret is about to come out. And I met Hari Kapoor and he said to me, that was the secret. Now I have gone to Delhi. Then your mind works. Oh, this secret is not to be told to this person in front of me. Then you quickly, without telling a lie, you mention, I had gone to Delhi and I met Amit Khanna in Karol Bagh and had a meal with him. So that is true. You met Amit Khanna, you had a meal with him at Karol Bagh, but you began saying, I had met Hari Kapoor and he told me this top secret. You carefully steer your way without getting diverted to any untruth. You steer your way to truth only, but different from rahasyam. Uttamam, this yoga, this jnana is of great value. Here it is not some financial or political importance, but it is a matter of whether the other party will receive it properly, handle it properly, use it properly. For that matter, leave alone Moksha Shastra, Satya, Ahimsa, and Brahmacharya are also not to be instructed to anybody and everybody. Yesterday, in another talk, I had to say Mahatma Gandhi tried to share the sublime value of Ahimsa with Tom, Dick, and Harry, but 9 out of 10 people could not hold that Ahimsa. They become hypocrites. They would show themselves to be non-violent while their bosom had all the violence, if not more, than before. For inner cleansing is not so easy by merely wearing some special dress or repeating some paragraphs, chanting some shlokas in the glory of Ahimsa and so on. In order that you truly you let go of all violence, it's a great sadhana. And poor Gandhiji wrongly estimated it. He just, So today also India is a country of strikes and agitations and people skipping work. They just stand outside, Dikhara, Dikhara. And like Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev jokes in one of his videos, in this country, people do not become leaders by doing. People become leaders by obstructing good projects. He makes a sarcastic remark. If the government is trying to do some good work and you take 1,000 people on the street and obstruct it, then you become a leader overnight. Gandhiji wanted you to do satyagraha for satya, but people nowadays use the ideas of hunger strike, fasting unto death, or rail rokho, rasta rokho, and rokho. Sare achhe kaam rokho. Stop good work. And then quote maybe Mahatma Gandhi. So even human values are a delicate affair. One cannot give them to anybody just like that. One has to prepare the student. So Arjuna was handpicked, specially chosen by Sri Krishna. And what a setting! Only God can do this. God can choose this setting, the time, the place, the right person, and then God goes into a yoga aruda state, a superconscious state, and delivers this discourse which remains immortal for all time to come. Connecting the fourth shloka, Adi Shankara says, Bhagavata Vipratisiddham uktam iti mabhut kasyachit buddhihi. What is this Vipratisiddham? apparently contradictory. He is born some 70 years ago, 80 years ago, because according to a version, Sri Krishna was already 85-year-old during Mahabharata war. These figures, we don't know whether they were literally true or it was in a manner of saying. Whatever it is, Sri Krishna has been around for some time now. And how can he say, I taught this to Vivaswan, Lord Son, Vivaswan, Manave Praha, Manuhu, Ikshwakave Abravit, Aditya to Manu, Manu to Ikshwaku, and so on. Does it not contradict our common sense? Iti kasyachit buddhihi ma bhut. Nobody should get confused here. Pariharartham. To resolve this doubt, Chodyamiva Kurvan. Arjuna, in order that Sri Krishna throws light on this apparent contradiction, Chodyam asks a question. Arjuna actually has understood that this Sri Krishna who is speaking to me is not just the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. He is that Adi Purusha. From time immemorial, he has been overseeing this creation. Arjuna knows. Therefore, Chodyam Iva. Iva means as though he had a doubt. He did not have a doubt really in his bosom. Arjuna Uvacha. Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katham etad vijaniyam svamadau proktavaniti. Aparam bhavato janma. Shri Krishna, tell me one thing. You were born just about 75 years ago. Whereas Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshwaku, all have been around for thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. How come? Katham vijaniyam. How am I to understand? Katham means how. How am I to understand that it was you who taught in the beginning? Tvam adau proktavan. Aparam means arvak, something that comes later, in contrast to prak. Prak means before, arvak means later. Aparam, arvak, recently, 75 years ago maybe, Vasudeva Grihe Bhavataha Sri Krishnasya Janma Abhavat. In the Vasudeva's house. To be more precise, in a jail room. Look at it. Born in a jail and then transferred across Yamuna to Vrindavan, and there Sri Krishna grew up. Vasudeva Gruhe, Karagrahe iti artha. Param Purvam Sargado Janma Utpatti Vivasvataha Adityasya. Lord Surya, Param means Prak. Long ago, in most ancient times, Surya Bhagavan already was up and active in this universe. Therefore, Katham etad vijaniyam, how can I understand this without a contradiction? Aviruddha arthataya. Viruddha artha is contradiction. Aviruddha arthataya. Yastu or yaha tvam eva ado proktavan mahyam. And now today you told me idani mahyam anyatha adau eva tvam eva proktavan iti katham aham vidyam. How am I to understand? Katham aham vijaniyam. Both are vidyam, vijaniyam. How am I to know? That provides the right opportunity to Sri Krishna to let everyone know through Arjuna as the excuse or pretext. Everyone should know that Sri Krishna is way beyond that one incarnation as Devaki Sutta. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetha parantapa. Bhagavan throws a bombshell. What are you talking, Arjuna? I have had many lives. Bahuni, Janmani, Vyatitani. Many lives have happened. Many lives took place. I was born on this earth so many times. Tavacha Arjuna, even you also have come and gone. To think of such lokas seriously can make our hair rise on their ends. For what Sri Krishna said to Arjuna applies to you and me too. Oh, does it mean we have come many times on this earth? Does it mean that we will come many times after this life too? Oh, I believe there is a story in Srimad Bhagavatam. A certain father was very attached to his son. The father was a king and a great punyatma. And then the son dies in an accident. And the father expresses a fervent prayer to gods. I lost my son. I wish to see him just once. I didn't know he would leave me without any information. After a lot of prayers, gods decided, considering this king had earned so much of punya, let us give him a chance to meet his son who is in the heaven now. They took the father to the heaven, special case. And over there in the heaven, the father actually meets his son. The father is excited with tears rolling down his cheeks. Oh, my son, you are here. I am so glad that I am able to see you in the heaven like this. But now comes the turn, the twist in the story. The son, having gone to heaven, has got various, divine powers. He remembers 100 of his past lives. And in all innocence, he says to this king who had gone to the heaven, oh, tell me who you are. The king is shocked. I am the king of Kashi. I am your father. The son says, oh, could be, I don't deny. But I am able to remember 100 of my lives, and in each life I had a father. So, if you are my father, which is fine, I just want to know, when were you my father? In which of my 100 lives? So, were you my father in the third life I took, in the seventh, in the 72nd, or in the 96th, or the most recent birth I had taken, and then I died and came here? You tell me, in which life of mine were you my father? The story of the Bhagavatam abruptly ends with a sharp and strong recognition dawning upon the father that all this father, son, mother, daughter, and such relationships come and go. None of them is eternally true. All of them are passing phenomena. A moment ago, the son had asked, oh dear king of Kashi, tell me, in which life were you my father? The father just goes back to the earth, and on his way back itself, he thinks, in which life was I his father? And where was I father? Where was I son? Kame janani kome tataha, as Bhajagovindam says. Now, all this is not to make us sad or depressed. Rather, on the contrary, when we reflect on life against the larger canvas, we get true detachment. We do not get unduly excited about anything. We do not overdo anything. We don't overtalk anywhere. We don't overthink in any situation. We just do what needs to be done in an elegant, nice manner, then return to certain alert silence. We are not hijacked by our own thoughts or memories. Tani aham veda sarvani. Sri Krishna says, I know all the lives of my own and all the lives of yours too. But the problem with you is Natvam Vetha Parantapa. O great soldier who scorches your enemies, you may be great on the battlefield in a certain particular skill area, but otherwise about life in general, you are an ignoramus. You don't know. Natvam Vetha. Ya Vasudeve Anishwara Asarvajna Ashanka Murkhanam. Connecting to the shloka, Bhagavan Bhashyakara says, idiotic people, murkhas, have ashanka or shanka, doubt whether Sri Krishna is the whole, is the God principle, whether he truly is omniscient, they doubt. Ishware, Vasudeve, Sri Krishna, murkaha, samshayam avahanti. Kaha samshaya, what is their doubt? Yesha Krishnaha Ishwaraha na syat. He may not be God. Yesha Sri Krishnaha, this Sri Krishna, Sarvajnaha na bhavet. May not be Sarvajna. Like us, he also has limited knowledge and limited power. Murkhanam evam shankha bhavet. Tam pariharan. Solving it, parihara, pariharam kurvan, Shri Bhagavan uvacha. Yadartho hi Arjunasya prashna. And that was what Arjuna wanted. And explaining the verse, Bhashyakara says, Bahuni me mama vyatitani vyatikrantani. Many lives have passed. Tavacha, of you also, hey Arjuna, tani aham veda jane. Janami sarvani natvam vetta na janishe. Why does Arjuna not know? The mind of a jiva, an individual soul, generally is so much noisy. Dharma, adharma, what right did I do? I should do more of it. What wrong did I do? I should avoid repeating it. This tussle and this getting tossed between right and wrong, good and bad, merit and sin. So much noise is in our heads. Dharma, adharma, adi, pratibaddha jnana shaktitvat. So we too essentially are capable of remembering all our past lives, and we can probably see future also, but that capacity is clouded or pratibaddha, obstructed by countless thoughts about our actions. Aham punaha, when it comes to God, his consciousness is not obstructed. Thoughts have found their right place. Aham punaha nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhavatvat anavarana jnana shakti. The jnana shakti of Sri Krishna has no avarana, no veiling. Veda, aham, he, parantapa. Therefore, I know it all. So interesting topic, avarana. Now, all this from a Vedanta point of view is adhyaropa. It's not that there is Brahma and there is really an avarana. There is really a veiling. It's not that there is ajnana of the nature of bhava. There is something which is, and its name is ajnana. And we have to eliminate avidya or ajnana, which actually is, would be not acceptable in pure Vedanta. In pure Vedanta, Brahma and Brahma alone was, is, and will be. There is nothing to be removed to. What do you mean? Then what are we here for? You are so attached to the quest that you don't want to listen. You who is inquiring is as much part of ignorance as what is inquired into. Therefore, it's a quantum leap. As Mirabai said in some bhajan, it's a matter of crossing the river, and then you look back, there is no river at all. You cross a river with great difficulty, only to find, when you look back, that there was no river at all. So the river of avidya is not bhava-rupa, it is abhava-rupa. It has no existence. But when one is inquiring, it seems everything is real. So it is mind-blowing. Therefore, one of the commentators says that there is actually no avarana anywhere, but this is a thought development. We call it adhyaropa apavada. You think about, you talk about a certain veiling, a certain cover, and then say, there was never a cover. It was just asat. Thus, now Sri Krishna makes a beginning. We will see one more shloka for this class, for I need to leave a bit early. There is a Republic Day function in this campus where 80 students, 10 teachers, and quite a few other staff, some guests from the city of Bangalore are all gathering. And at 9 a.m. we have a special IAS officer coming and doing the Dvaja Arohana as the chief guest of the day and so on. So, however, we'll see one more shloka. Sri Bhagavan says, Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Arjuna, really, I have no birth at all. There is really no avarana. There is no either being obstructed by avarana or not being obstructed by avarana, because there is no avarana worth mentioning. However, Atma Mayaya, in the context of the deliberate superimposition, not in the truth itself, within the teaching tool, within the apparatus used for teaching, we do talk about this Janma, which is called Avatara. Ajaha api san. San is a present participle, being. Being unborn, avyayatma, being of the nature, where there is no change whatsoever in me, and Bhutanam Ishvaropi san, being even the Prabhu, the ruler of all living beings, I seem to be born. How? Prakritim adhishtaya. Riding over, governing this Prakriti, which is also called Maya elsewhere. Mayam tu Prakritim Vidhi, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. There is a line in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Daivihi esha gunamayi, mama maya duratyaya. Gunamayi, made of sattva, rajas and tamas. There is this Daivi Maya, says Sri Krishna in the 7th chapter of the Gita itself. So that Maya, called Prakriti here, Swam, it belongs to me. Sri Krishna says, this Prakriti is mine. I rule or ride over it, or I preside over it. Sambhavami. I become Rama, I become Krishna. I become a saint, I become a sage, I become a rishi. I am seen in so many forms, and all that is Atma Maya. So Ajaha means Janma Rahita, no birth, really speaking. Avyayatma, akshina jnana shakti svabhavaha api san. More than some physical form being indestructible, the unalloyed wisdom of Sri Krishna is indestructible. Jnana Shakti, Akshina, it doesn't become less at all. Tata Bhutanam Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam Ishvaraha Ishana Shilaha Api San. My very nature is to do administration, to rule. Rule whom? From Chaturmukha Brahma all the way till the stump of a tree. Stamba. Brahma Adi Stamba Paryanta. Brahma Adi beginning. Stamba Paryanta up to. So from top to bottom. Prakritim Vaishnavim Maya. So Vaishnavi is Vishnu related or Maya that belongs to Vishnu. Trigunatmikam. Three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Bhagavan Bhashyakara clarifies, Yasyam vashe sarvam jagad vartate, yaya mohitam sat swam atmanam vasudevam na janat. Sarvam jagat, the entire world is in the grip of, is in the clutches of Maya, and as a result, they do not know Vasudeva, the supreme God principle. And here Sri Krishna admits, I preside over this Maya. Preside also means Vashikritya, taking it completely under my control. Sambhavami. Dehavan iva, as though I have a body. Bhavami. Jataha iva. Iva means as though, not really. Rajjuhu sarpaha iva bhasate. Rajjuhu sarpaha iva drishyate. The rope appears to be a snake. The rope never, even for a passing moment, becomes snake. Atmano maya na paramarthata lokavat. Jivatmas, when they get into birth and death, from at least a Vyavahara point of view, they really suffer the limitations of this physical existence. Though they get very attached. It's like people living in congested cities are inhaling polluted air, and their lifestyle in that congested city, overpopulated city like Bombay or Delhi is pretty bad. But they are very attached. They don't even want to change from their locality to another locality. Because in the locality they have been living, they know what is available where, and they feel some kind of peculiar false security. They fear going to some ashram, going to some quiet place, some serene place. Whereas here, amidst all this noise, all this polluted air, they somehow imagine they're okay. There are people around me. If something happens to me, I can buy anything, get anything, I can go anywhere, meet somebody, eat something and come back, etc. These petty attachments make the city dwellers remain attached to the city. So is our case. We are attached to this body, this particular life, this image, this personality. That doesn't happen with God. It is following this shloka that the immortal shlokas where Sri Krishna describes what brings him on the earth when dharma declines and adharma is on the rise, when there is a need to protect pious people and to punish and check wicked people. In two verses, yada yada hi dharmasya and then paritranaya sadhuna. In two verses, Sri Krishna spells out the purpose of his avatars and also clarifies when avatars take place, when they take place, why they take place, how they take place, So the several questions connected to avatar, God's incarnation, are answered here in this particular portion, which becomes a unique feature of chapter 4. This topic doesn't come, at least in an explicit manner, in other chapters of the Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.